Okay, the next Grifball court we're looking at in the HAMMERFALL Grifball court contest is NEATH Breach by OCTOPUS BEAK. And let's have a look. What has he got here? Okay. Starting box right there onto the... Yeah. I've said this before to other people. Give your man cannons a little more juice than that. That just... It makes for a very lazy start to a game, just having it pop into the map like that. Like, take the players up and pick them up and throw them onto the court. That's my philosophy as far as these go. Just put it forward. A little bit more forward so they get thrown it to about quarter court or halfway up their side. So it's a third court. And, yeah. Something like that. It just makes for a slightly more dynamic start. Oh, I see. We're underground here, aren't we? Yes, we are very far underground. Oh, sort of far underground. Got ourselves an elevator here. And well, let's go. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I didn't. There's just an invisible blocker on the floor. Let's go. Okay. Oh, it's a sharp-looking court. Okay. That's a very neat aesthetic. I like that. Both teams come in on elevators to do battle. A catwalk up there. Now, I'm getting a little tiny bit of frame rate off this guy here in the corner. Hopefully you don't have to do much to get your frame rate under control. It's not that bad. Yeah, you know what? I don't think it's that bad. I just saw a few drops. But now, or let me look at it from the other side. It could be when I see the whole entire side of the court at once. No, that's not bad. Yeah, okay, just the slightest bit of frame rate when you're looking, when you have the whole side of the map in, you do get frame rate across there. So see what you can do to reduce that. And I'm thinking piece count maybe, or effects or something, or because it's a glass floor. I don't know. You'll have to go through and figure out. It could just be all the number of the sheer number of effects you have coming off of this item here. It could also be the objects you're using. You might want to simplify them. It'd be a shame to do that, but there's just too much going on in this area right here that it takes away from your frame rate when you're across the map. Yeah, I see. It's pretty bad. It's not horrible, but it's for this contest we're looking for perfectly smooth frame rate in all the maps, and something like that will definitely disqualify your map, unfortunately. So get that frame rate under control, and please try to do it without reducing the look of that, because that looks terrific in there. It's a very unique piece. So do whatever you need to do to maybe scale back on the effects and maybe things like that. And just scale back a little bit to bring the frame rate down. Otherwise, let's have a look technically. Everything seems to be fairly well blocked off. I don't think that's a perch. That's definitely not a perch. That's definitely not a perch. People have been paying attention, and they're enclosing everything very well so that players can't get up onto things. Now it looks like you can get up on there. You can't, because the ceiling is actually, see, that's where the ceiling actually is, right there. So you don't have to worry about any perches up there. It's a perfect ceiling, perfect containment. Let's put it that way. That should be good there. There's not too much of an overlap. Always good to check in game. Usually if you can see the seam here on this piece here, it should be good for no dead zones. But always, as I say, and I've said in every review so far, make sure you check your clamber ledges in game, and make sure you check each one of these seams by hitting it about 10 or 20 times, even when you're standing right beside it, and make sure that there's absolutely no dead zones on your... Oh, see, there's a dead zone. Did you see that? Right there. It's just, it might be hard to yeah, see, there's a dead zone on there. It's very, very small. So easy to fix, especially with these pieces here. In the case, you just have to watch out so you don't lose that. Just ungroup that piece, and you're just going to want to slide that over just a touch so that it doesn't overlap. Okay? Should look approximately like that when it's done. Now let's try it. And that was right on that one there, so... Oh, it is again. So anyhow, try that in game. It may just be a forge thing, but try it in game to make sure that there's no overlap. That's usually the best way to do it, is just to use magnets to stick them together. Just use a magnet to stick it together, and then it should be fine. You can probably move it in a hair closer with the magnets off, but you can figure that out. As I say, test it thoroughly in game to make sure there's no dead zones on your clamber wall, because that's probably going to be, other than the frame rate, that's probably going to be the only issue I see. Oh, here's another issue. This is a minor issue, but we'll have to see. You've grouped the floor, and that's a problem. Large groups lose precision, so your floor may not be as flat as you think it is. It could be fine. It's not. It's really hard to tell. Sometimes they're fine. Sometimes they shift all over the place. So you're gonna have to. Yeah, because that looks pretty good. I think you lucked out here. Many times when you yeah, you can kind of see it with this piece here. You can kind of see there's a, well, I don't know if you can see it. I can see it on my screen. There's just a little bit of a bump here. It's nothing to worry about though. It's still pretty smooth. Yeah, so don't group your floors. Simple as that. You can lock them, but don't group your floors. Okay? They will, like with repeated saves, they will tend to shift slightly because large groups just shift. It's just the nature of a large group. Okay, so the spawns are perfectly sitting on the floor. That's fantastic. Yeah, everything else is good. So clean up the little seams here. Clean those up. That's easy to do. Clean up your frame rate. And as I said, your floor is fine. And let me know when you've done that. And then this court is going to move on to round 2 as soon as you get your frame rate down to acceptable levels. Okay, thanks for watching.